Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. Start over. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Maddie with CurlyForChrist, and today we are going to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do a Q&A, like a get to know me kind of video. That way I just feel like if I always post content, I mean, yeah, it's great, but I want you to actually be able to be connected with me and get to know me. And these questions I posted on Facebook for people to give me. Let's go ahead and get on into the video. Okay, so just a little bit about me. Obviously my name is Maddie, and I am 22 years old. I am married to the love of my life and my best friend, and I think I want to do a video like of our love story and how we met another time. I'm sure I'll get more into depth with that, but we have been together for almost 3 years now, but we've been married for almost 2. So we got married pretty quickly after we met. I mean, not like too quickly, but I mean, when we knew, we knew. Yep, and my husband, he is 27 or 28. I think he's 27, and he'll be 28 here soon. Yeah, so he's my best friend, and we just live life together and serve Jesus together. So I'm also a full-time college student. I work right now, thankfully I work a part-time job as a waitress, just to help us get through school and help to pay some bills. But for now, I used to work a full-time job and go to school full-time, and that was very hard. But now, thankfully, my husband's work is picked up, so I don't have to do that anymore. I can just work on the weekends. Excuse me. I can just work on the weekends and then do school part-time. Or not school part-time, but do school full-time. And that's made it a lot easier on me. But school is still very... I take like 15 to 16 credit hours a semester, so it's not just full-time, it's more than full-time. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our questions now that you kind of know about me. Some of my like passions are, obviously I love to do YouTube. Sorry if y'all can hear that, my husband just got in the shower, so that's the noise you hear, then I'm sorry. I'm not really sure. I'm still playing around with this camera, so I don't know what it picks up and what it doesn't pick up. And I'm just casual today, y'all. It's a Q&A, it's laid back. I just wanted this to not be such like a formal video. I wanted you to kind of just get to know me, us talk and interact. And so I'm just kind of in my PJs today. So I'm not the only person, like I'll do my full face of makeup and my hair and then just sit at home and like I'll go to the grocery store and that's it. And if even like I'll get all dressed up and not go anywhere to do anything. But then like if I actually go out to see family or something, then I'll just look like a sack of potatoes. So whatever. Some of like the things I love to do, I love to sing, and my husband he sings as well. He can play like pretty much every daggum instrument that exists, so it makes me jealous because he just taught himself and like picks up on it naturally, but I'm not that musically inclined. So we like to sing together whenever he's in the mood to sing and stuff. He goes through like phases of singing and not wanting to sing, but whenever we do that, he'll play and we'll sing together, and that's a lot of fun. We love to just literally wear homebodies. We love to sit and just watch TV and watch Netflix or do nothing. More so him than I. Like I try to get him out to do stuff, but it's mostly we just must stay at home. But I like to serve at church for the most part. I'm trying to think. I love makeup and I love really anything girly. And yeah, so those are pretty much all I do is just, you know, spend time with God, spend time with my husband, see family, and sit at home. I'm pretty lazy, so yeah, there's that. So let's go ahead and jump into our questions. For those of you that don't know, I'm in school at, I don't want to tell like where I go to school at, but I'm at school at a university here where I live, and I'm going to school for elementary education, and I graduate here soon. I'm so excited. Somebody asked me what made you want to be a school teacher, and so for me, you know, there's not like one simple answer. Obviously, I think that no, teachers don't get paid enough, but I mean, it is a good salary, like it's a good living, you have really good job security for the most part. You're able to, you know, you have benefits, great benefits, good retirement, all that, you get to take care of your family, all of that. But outside of that, there's a lot of teachers throughout the years that I felt did me wrong, and then there's a lot of teachers who I felt did me good. And I wanted to lessen the teachers who did wrong and be one of those teachers that was good, that stood out to a student. And not to say that all teachers are bad, you know, but there were those teachers who definitely made the difference for me, who went that extra mile for me. I have ADHD, and so I struggled in school a lot, and teachers who took the time to, you know, teach things in a variety of ways, and who really, you know, saw that I was a smart student, that I was a gifted student, but I just had to be, they had to cater kind of to accommodate or modify to what I needed. teachers who, you know, they bent over backwards to make sure that we learned, and you could tell that they actually cared about us. And for some students, luckily I had loving parents at home, but for some students that's the only love that they get. And I wanted to, you know, be that loving force in a child's life, because I may be the only love that they ever receive. And so if I can be that one teacher that makes a difference for that student, then to me it's all worth it. Outside of like just learning, of course, you know, I love teaching. I've always like being good at it and all that. Like I really enjoy something that I love doing. I love to lesson plan, all that kind of teachery weird stuff. But I really just wanted to like reflect without, like, you know, because you can't really talk about religion in school, but without forcing it on my students, I just want to be an example of Jesus and show kids the love of Jesus. And maybe somewhere along their life, because of that example, that seed that I planted, then they'll come to know Jesus through that. So okay, the next question is, if you guys haven't seen, like, I have naturally curly hair for this, like, I'm filming all these during quarantine, so my hair is really like crazy. And to be honest, like, it's just much easier when I'm going like day to day. You know, you're like showering a lot, and I'm able to like consistently comb my curly hair and like take care of it like I need to, because I have to. But when I'm at home and I'm sleeping on it, it just gets matted really easily, and it's just a mess. So right now my hair is like curled with a curling iron and kind of straightened, so it doesn't normally look like this. So my hair's naturally really kinky curly. And so someone asked, how do you tame your curly hair? I just use a lot of products. My hairstylist told me to use the lock method, and I've seen it on YouTube a lot too. It's like leave-in conditioner, oil, and cream. And so you follow like all those steps, and it helps to like seal in the moisture, and the water can't escape, so you're left with the moisture in your hair, which is what curly hair needs because it's really dry. And so anyway, like there's different steps, and then I use a gel at the end. I also finger coil because it's supposed to help like form your curls. But some days, to be honest, I don't tame it. Like, it has a mind of its own. I know you hear curly people say that a lot, but it really does. Like, one day you could do the same steps and use the same exact amount of product and everything, and it will come out looking different every time. That's just the nature of curly hair. So you just try your best to kind of calm it down, and then, you know, pamper it, let it do its thing. So that's really honestly the only way that I can tame my curly hair. What's your favorite snack? That's a good question. I think I have like two different spectrums of things. Like my favorite, I love anything chocolate. So I like the caramellos. Those are really good. That might be one of my favorite like chocolatey snacks. But really anything with chocolate in it. But like candy.
2,000 years later.
Probably like a Now and Later or Starburst or something like chewy like that. I'd probably say is like one of my favorites. But honestly, any sort of like candy, I really don't not like anything. So what's the first thing you'll do after COVID-19 restrictions are lifted? Probably go see family for sure. That'll definitely be my first priority. But I think being able to just go, like, I don't even really go shop, to be honest, because I don't have time or really money. But I mean, I don't really like have time for that. But that'd probably be like one of the first things I would do, is just to be able to go to the grocery store or like go and look at clothes without having to worry about, you know, the fear of getting the virus. Like once those are lifted, the restrictions are lifted, that'd probably be like one of the first things I do outside of going to see family and visiting everyone, will be to just be able to go places. Oh, and me and my husband have already planned a trip to go to the beach for his birthday, which is at the end of May. So I really hope that the restrictions are lifted by then. Fingers crossed, because we love the beach. That's like my favorite place ever, is the beach. So okay, somebody else asked, how are you doing balancing school, work, and married life? It depends on the season. It's been, last year was really rough because balancing school and work and married life, you know, like when you're a new wife, that within itself is an adjustment, and much less I was a new wife going to school and working full-time. And so that was very, very stressful, and just a whole, I was just trying to, you know, be the wife that God has called me to be, and be attentive to his needs, but also, you know, make sure that I'm taking care of myself while also making sure that I'm doing good in school and, you know, doing good at work. And so that was a lot to balance. And to be honest, I didn't balance anything. It was really God who helped me through all of that. I remember that it was a blessing in disguise, because that's really the time where I like dug into my relationship with God and knew that God was the only way I was going to get through it. So I really just like ran to him and was like, Lord, please help me through this situation. Like, help me juggle all this, because without you, I can't do this. I'm gonna go insane. And some days I felt like I went insane, but you know, really God had me where he wanted me. But it's pretty much just God and asking God to, you know, help me to have strength and willpower and discipline to manage everything. But now I'm in a season where, thank the Lord, I do not have to work, you know, 50 something hours a week and take 16 credit hours. I'm able to work part-time, and my husband is able to you know, take care of us, and that's been really just a blessing for me, because now I can focus on school and be a better wife and, you know, get all the things done that I need to get done. Doesn't mean that it's not stressful still, but it is a lot easier. So I would just say really God was my saving grace there. How many kids do you want? In my head, I would ideally like 2 or 3 kids. I at least want like 1 boy and 1 girl. Like, I would be happy and content with 1 boy or 1 girl. But I'm a big believer that, you know, God will give me what I need. But my husband, on the other hand, he only wants 1 child. He's like, it's like a trial run. Like, let's do 1 child. If it goes really well, then we'll have another one. So he's really like dead set on 1. But I've always said, I've always wanted twins. Twins run in our family. And I've always thought like I'm gonna have twins. So I don't know, like maybe I'll look back at this video years later and I'll have had twins, and that will be the craziest thing ever. But I've always, like, even when I played with babies when I was little, like I showed like 2 babies up there and pretend I had twins. Like, twins have always been a thing for me. And so I feel like Taylor's got it right. Like, he says 1 baby, but he really means 1 pregnancy, and we'll have 2 kids and it'll be a boy and a girl. But I don't know, that's just something that I always mess with him about, is that, oh, it's 1 pregnancy but 2 babies. So anyway, I would love to have, I would say 2 or 3 kids, but at least however many God wants us to have, but at least 1 boy and 1 girl for sure. And the next question is, when do you want kids? We don't want kids right now. I want kids, ideally, if I could plan it, we would probably wait a few more years. Definitely when I'm done with school, and I'll be done with school this time next year. So as long as we can wait until I have a teaching job, that would make me feel much better, because I will have a job and benefits and be able to take care of, you know, that would be, you know, really good for the family, because I would have that job security and all that. But ideally, I would like to wait 3 to 4 years probably. We'd probably start trying like the next 3 years. If I had to plan it out, and then maybe get pregnant in the next 4 to 5 years. But you know, I really don't know when. He may want to start trying sooner, but definitely we both talked and we both agree that we want to wait till oh my Lord. Hey babe, Taylor, when do you want kids?
Like probably 6 years from now.
6 years? Okay,
10 years.
10 years.
Maybe you'll forget about them by then.
Hold up!
We both agreed, you know, with the past, that it's been for sure wait till I'm done with school. So that's probably the answer for now. And the next question is, what are your hobbies? I think I kind of said this before, like things I like to do, but my hobbies are pretty much just, I do like to cook. I found that cooking, since I've become a wife, like I didn't know how to cook or do anything, Lord help me, before that, but I've really learned how to cook as a wife, and I really enjoy it. Like, it's like almost like my me time, because I have the kitchen to myself and everything. So I say, honestly, maybe that's weird, but cooking is one of my hobbies. I really like it, and trying new things and everything. And then obviously hobbies are this YouTube channel now. I just really honestly love to watch YouTube, love to do makeup. I'm pretty simple. I really just like to surround myself with people, like family, not like people. I hate being around people, but like family. I'm very family oriented. I don't know if that's a hobby. That's more like a character trait, I suppose. But yeah, those are like my hobbies. When did you make Jesus Lord of your life? That's a good question. I would say like when I was saved, like when I asked Jesus into my heart, I would say that I was saved and accepted Jesus into my heart when I was like little, like a teenager. Like, I do feel like I was saved, but I never really was transformed. I never was free. Didn't know Jesus if that makes any sense. As far as I knew Jesus, but I didn't know how much he loved me. And when I realized that, that changed everything. So I realized that a couple of years ago, probably right before I met my husband Taylor, which was, I'd really gone down a really, really dark path, which I'm going to do like a my testimony video, which I'll explain all of that here soon. But I would say that I really truly made Jesus the Lord of my life and understood who God was and who Jesus was probably when I was, I don't know how old I would have been, probably 18 or 19. It was over that summer. I was in a really dark place, and then God found me where I was at, you know, like he always does. He loves us where we're at. And so I would say that was like the turning point for me of when I said, I want to be different and I want to make him the Lord of my life. So that's when, probably over the past 3 or 4 years. What are some baby girl names you like? These are a lot of baby questions. Some baby girl names I like. Me and Taylor have talked. We like the name Emery for a girl. I really like that name. I mean, I'm really weird. I like the weird names. Taylor doesn't. He thinks like you're crazy. But I like, there's one I saw the other day. I can't remember what it is. If I can remember, I'll insert it here, but it was so pretty. But I like the name Emery. I like the name Adina. I think that's pretty. I like the name Eslin. I think that's beautiful. I've always liked the name Hazel or like Violet, like the color names. I like the name Amaret. I like the name Nezrin. I just like those kind of weird names that nobody likes or everybody thinks are pretty, but they never name their kid. I don't know. I want like our kid to have a really cool name, like for their name to stand out, you know, like not to be just like, no offense if your name is like Abby Grace, but like I just don't want our kids to have like a simple name like Abby Grace. Not that you can't be great if you're an Abby Grace, that's just me personally. I don't want my kid to have just like a mainstream name like that. And then the next question is, what are some baby boy names? Man, I had all these written down. I've always liked the name Ronan. I know that's, again, I'm weird, but I found that, I can't remember any off the top of my head, but I found like I like the Irish names, like names that aren't just like standard American names, if that makes any sense. I like the name Kai for a boy, like Kai. I don't know, that's cool to me. Oh, and for a girl or a boy, really, I think it depends on how you spell it. I like the name Rain, like as a middle name. Not like R-A-I-N, but like rain as in like you're reigning over something. I really love that name. I like the name Rowan. That is a really cool name to me too. I've always loved the name Archer, but I found that it used to not be as popular as it is now, so I think if it becomes too mainstream, then I'll have to change the name. I like the name Bexton. That's cool. Okay, the next question is, do you like flying in an airplane? I don't necessarily like flying in an airplane, but I just think that it would be, like, it's worth the money that you would spend to travel on an airplane, just because obviously you're, in my opinion, I guess it depends on like your traveling conditions, but I'm more comfortable on an airplane than I would be in a car traveling, and also it's a lot quicker. Like traveling 20 hours somewhere would take you 4 hours on a plane, you know, like I feel like for some people that's not worth the money, but for me personally that would be so worth the money. My husband disagrees with me, I already know, but for me it's worth the money to just be able to pay that fee and fly and get it over with. The next question is, was your hair dark as a toddler? Yes, it was dark. It's like this color right here is my natural hair color. And so it's always been that color. It's never been light or blonde or anything like that. So what was your favorite flower? Or what is your favorite flower? Probably a sunflower. I don't complain about any flowers necessarily, but sunflower is probably my favorite type of flower. What is your favorite fruit? Probably watermelon. I really like watermelon and pineapple. I like strawberries too, but, and I pretty much, I can't think of a fruit that I don't like, but as far as like just to be able to sit and eat all day, probably watermelon and pineapple. Oh, wait. And another person wanted to know about my tattoo. It says Tetelestai. It's actually Greek for it is finished. And that's one of the last things that Jesus said when he was on the cross. It is finished, as in, you know, the law has been, like, the law has been fulfilled. You know, it symbolizes to me that we don't have to walk. He finished it. He paid the final debt. We don't have to pay for our sins anymore. And so now we get to walk in freedom and not have to be bound by our past or our mistakes. We don't have to follow that religious law of asking forgiveness every single day for our sins, because what Jesus did on the cross covered all of that. We're already forgiven when we ask for forgiveness, and so he doesn't remember our sins as far as the east is from the west. And so for me, that's just so huge to me, that those were like his last words before he died on the cross, that it is finished. Like, it's said and done. And so I just love that so much. And the reason why I got it here was because I wanted people to see it, and I wanted people to ask me what it said. And it's funny because people kind of look at me like puzzled when they see it, because they're trying to read it, because it's obviously not in English. And so when they ask me, it's an opportunity for me to tell them about Jesus and tell them my testimony, without me just telling them, hey, I love Jesus, and like being all in their face about it. They're the ones who inquired about it. They're the ones who asked me about it, and that gives me an open door to tell them about Jesus and how he changed my life. So that's pretty much all about my tattoo. So okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and let me know any other questions that you might have for me. I'd be glad to answer those for you. So yeah, just stay tuned. Let me know what you want to see from me next, and I will see you next week. I hope you guys all have a blessed week, and I hope that this video lets you kind of get to know a little bit more about me. So thanks for watching. Bye guys.